The New Orleans Saints just hit the reset button harder than anyone saw coming. One moment, they were clinging to a fading era with Derek Carr under center. The next, he's gone, officially retired and placed on the reserve list. That one move didn't just free up a quarterback slot. It triggered a full reset, a clean break from a season defined by underwhelming results and unanswered questions. The Saints didn't just lose a veteran. They lost a signal caller they thought would lead them for years. And now, they've walked into one of the most unpredictable chapters in franchise history. This wasn't some quiet offseason transaction. Derek Carr's exit saved the team $30 million and slammed the door shut on a storyline that never lived up to the hype. A one-year stint filled with flashes of potential, a handful of wins, and way too many what-ifs. But here's the twist. This wasn't a setback, it was a clean slate. And the front office wasted no time treating it like a launch pad. Younger players are rising, the locker room has shifted, and everything, from play calling to roster building, has taken a sharp turn. The rebuild isn't coming, it already started. But there's one thing that still has Saints fans fuming. It's not the quarterback drama. It's not even the offseason rumors. It's something much deeper, much more insulting. Pro Football Focus just ranked the Saints roster 30th out of 32. And that's where this story starts to heat up. Because that ranking, it's sparking a fire the rest of the league might not be ready for. But before we get into that, hit that like and subscribe button for more Saints and all the NFL content. Let's aim for 500 likes on this video. Pro Football Focus didn't just rank the Saints near the bottom. They planted them at 30th out of 32, almost dead last in the entire league. That kind of ranking doesn't go unnoticed. It doesn't just sting the players. It challenges the entire identity of a franchise that's quietly retooling behind the scenes. According to PFF, the Saints are sitting below teams like the Colts, Steelers, and even the Giants. And yet, none of those teams had to weather the same storm of injuries, coaching changes, and quarterback uncertainty the Saints battled last season. But here's what makes that ranking even harder to justify. When New Orleans had its starters on the field, they were competitive. Not elite, not perfect, but far from bottom tier. The issue wasn't talent, it was availability. Losing key offensive linemen, rotating quarterbacks, and missing receivers like Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed turned their passing attack into a scramble. PFF looked at the numbers. What they missed was the context. And that's where the disrespect cuts deep. Because if you watch this team play, you'd know they weren't broken. They were beat up. And now that they're getting healthy and reloaded, that's the part nobody's factoring in. Especially when you consider the one area of this roster that quietly carried them through chaos last season, and it wasn't the quarterback. It was something far more reliable. Something that could become their identity in 2025. When everything else fell apart, the run game stood tall. While the Saints shuffled quarterbacks and battled injuries all over the field, one thing stayed consistent: moving the ball on the ground. That wasn't just luck, it was execution, it was blocking. And most of all, it was Alvin Kamara doing what he's done his whole career, turning chaos into production. Behind a banged-up line and in an offense that couldn't stay healthy, Kamara still posted 1,493 total yards, proving he's more than just a name. He's the engine when this team has no gas left. But the real secret weapon wasn't just the ball carrier. It was what Pro Football Focus quietly admitted in their breakdown. The Saints finished 10th in run blocking grade. That's no accident. That's the result of young linemen stepping up, adapting fast, and delivering physical football. With players like Talius Fuaga moving back to his natural right tackle spot and first-rounder Kelvin Banks taking over the blind side, this unit isn't patchwork anymore. It's becoming a strength. And when you have a foundation like that, one built on grit, timing, and trust, it opens the entire playbook. And now, under new leadership, that strength is about to become a weapon. Because if Kellen Moore decides to lean into it, if he designs the offense to control the clock, win the trenches, and wear teams down, the Saints won't just be competitive, they'll be dangerous. And there's one veteran in the backfield who's ready to take full advantage. But the part that's got fans holding their breath? It's what happens when the ball leaves Kamara's hands and goes airborne. Size might be the one thing missing, but speed? That's everywhere in this Saints receiving group. While most teams are chasing height and jump ball threats, New Orleans is going in a different direction. one built around separation, spacing, and quickness. Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, and Brandon Cooks might not tower over defenders, but they don't have to. They win in motion, they win off the line, and they stretch defenses in ways that don't show up in basic box scores. This isn't a mismatch problem, it's a new kind of matchup advantage. What's more surprising is the numbers. Not a single receiver on the current depth chart is listed over 6'2". That's rare. Only one other team in the entire league shares that stat, the Minnesota Vikings. And yet, the Saints aren't scrambling to fix it. Why? Because this isn't about body types, it's about the system. Head coach Kellen Moore has emphasized one key theme all offseason: pace and space. And when your three starters are built for speed, the plan isn't to outmuscle defenses, it's to outrun them. The result? Defenders stretched thin, mismatches in motion, and big plays waiting to happen. Still, there's a lingering question hovering over this receiver room. Can they hold up for 17 games without a big-bodied option to lean on in red zone traffic or contested catches? That's where one name suddenly becomes more than just a rumor. It becomes a possible game changer, a veteran who knows the system, knows the coaches, and could change everything about how this offense attacks through the air. The rumor is loud enough now that it can't be ignored. Amari Cooper, one of the most reliable veteran receivers still on the market, has been linked to the New Orleans Saints. And the connection makes more sense than most people realize. Cooper isn't just another free agent. He's a proven route technician with deep ties to this coaching staff. Both Kellen Moore and Doug Nussmeier worked with him during his early years in Dallas. That familiarity? It could turn a rumor into reality. This isn't about star chasing or headline moves. It's about what Cooper adds that the current roster doesn't have: size, experience, and a calm presence in pressure moments. At 6'1", he'd be one of the tallest receivers on the team the second he walks through the door. But it's not just about frame. It's about what he does in tight coverage, what he brings in third down situations, and how he balances a room full of speed-first playmakers. Over the past 3 full seasons, he's posted back-to-back 1,000-yard campaigns and still shows flashes of elite footwork and separation. If the Saints decide to pull the trigger, Cooper wouldn't just be insurance. He'd be the missing link, a physical wideout who brings balance to the group and helps elevate a young quarterback. And speaking of quarterbacks, that's where the spotlight shifts next. Because while most teams have a clear plan under center, New Orleans is rolling the dice with not one, but 2 names trying to prove they're ready to lead. The quarterback room in New Orleans doesn't have a face of the franchise yet, but it does have a battle brewing. With Derek Carr officially out, the Saints are turning the page with 2 very different options: rookie Tyler Shough and former college standout Spencer Rattler. Neither has taken an NFL snap, but one of them will be asked to take full control of an offense trying to reestablish its identity. This isn't a stopgap situation. It's a full reset. And whoever wins the job will carry the weight of a fan base desperate for consistency at the most important position. Tyler Shough may be new to the league, but he's already got the inside track. Drafted in the 2nd round and handpicked by head coach Kellen Moore, he's viewed as the long-term project with high-end upside. His final college season ended with an 87.7 PFF passing grade, and when kept clean, he ranked 4th nationally in efficiency. That's not a fluke, that's Polish. But training camp buzz isn't everything. No matter who takes the first snap in week 1, the message is clear. This is no longer about managing the game, it's about commanding it. But even the best quarterbacks can't shine if the system breaks down around them. And for the Saints, there's one piece of the offense that nearly collapsed last year, and it wasn't under center. It was the protection in front of them. And that story is about to take a sharp turn. So here's the question: who's your X factor this season? Will it be Fuaga anchoring the line, Shough taking over the huddle, or maybe someone the rest of the league still isn't paying attention to? Drop your prediction in the comments, and if you're part of Who Dat Nation and believe this team is finally turning the corner, hit that subscribe button. Because this isn't the same old Saints, and the rest of the NFL might be in for a surprise.